8:47. Let's go right into the KUAM News, the Zoom room. A lot of people, a lot of questions, the tax refunds, DMV, EIP payments, the Mangalfa program. And so we wanted to bring on Revenue Tax Director Dafne Shimizu. Good morning, Dafne.
Half a day, Chris. Half a day, Sabrina. Half a day, Guam. I know I'm following, I guess I'm kind of squeezed between two really, really important people. So I just want to get quickly to what's going on with Rev and Tax. As you know, in the last week, the PCOR 1 became a little bit more restrictive than what we've seen through this whole public health emergency since March. Once the treasurer of Guam, closed to the public, then also, DRT are all the services that we had, even the ones that were where we had people coming into the office, we also suspended those. So the best way to contact us is really through our contact us section in our website, or through our email address is pinadmin@revtax.guam.gov. I know it's been a very challenging time for our people. If you don't mind, can I just share something with you? I try to read different news articles, CNN, things like that, and especially on the economy, because it really interests me, especially what's going on, so that we can somehow figure out how we can address the issues of the economy also locally. And I was reading a CNN article on the economy, and I thought it was pretty interesting that at the end, I think that the author said something very profound. And the last paragraph states, "The most important lesson from the COVID-19 pandemic is the importance of working together on problems that affect the entire human race. We are much stronger united than divided." And, I think that, we have so much happening. I know there's a lot of stress involved in, with people dying, the sober realities of it. I know that our legislators are discussing the issue of, whether or not we should have a primary election, whether it should be postponed or canceled. I'll share with you some of the challenges even that we faced here. As you know, Chris and Sabrina, we were open on Saturdays. We had people actually, because of this, the need for their driver's licenses, even if though we did extend the expiration dates for them, that we had people sleeping here in our parking lot. They were here at midnight. And we saw the challenge in trying to manage the crowd. Part of, the reason why that we had to stop, and that we are really moving toward, having driver's licenses be renewed by mail and having permits be mailed out in the mail versus people coming here, is because we knew that, the capacity for us to be able to manage the crowd was really, not there. So I can recognize, of course, the need to make sure that we, keep people safe at their homes. So again, for Rev and Tax, I know that the executive order from the governor will be coming out later this afternoon. We will be giving an update. When we did do our volume 5 and in the last week, it hadn't contemplated the restricted PCOR 1. So we do have phone numbers there. Our team, actually, we do have a few people here for admin purposes, but we're really in and out. I expect that we'll issue an update on our numbers and how you can call us and contact us no later than tomorrow, just so that people will be aware. But you can always contact us by email. I've actually responded to some questions regarding driver's license. Again, although we are closed to the public, our team is monitoring emails. If people aren't getting responses, please try again. But also the pinadmin@revtax.guam.gov is definitely being monitored. And I know that because I actually communicate with our team very frequently. In fact, we've had many meetings throughout this week.
Real quickly, tax deadline September 15th. Is that going to be extended?
If you're referring to estimated tax payments, so the deadline for individual and corporate income tax actually is October 15.
Oh.
So we still have a little bit of time. We generally follow the IRS. I know across the nation, everybody's dealing with issues with regards to, trying to meet deadlines. But October 15 is the deadline for individual income taxes and corporate income taxes. That's the extended due date. If you didn't file an extension, of course, you need to make sure that, you do file your return, because there is a failure to file and failure to pay penalty if there's a payment due. Sabrina and Chris, though, our team, just like the IRS, the IRS did issue they have what's called a People's First initiative. We recognize the need to make sure that we, take care of our people on many levels. Of course, our number one charge is really collections, right? But at the same time, there is a level of compassion that has to be given because of the current situation. It's really unprecedented. What we've seen for people who have had installment agreements with us is they've actually come in, and we really highly recommend that you contact us. If you're not able to make a payment that you have already previously committed to, we're here to help our people. We're not here to hurt people, and we don't want people to be worried about that. The last thing we want is, or the thing we don't recommend is for people to not let us know if you're not able to make a payment, because then, it becomes a little bit more challenging on the collection side. So as much as possible, if you have any challenges, if you have an installment agreement, or if you need one, our team is here. Well, we are available so that way we can help, the people. And that's something, of course, that's been important to us. We have to be flexible. This is something that is not going to go away anytime soon. And, I believe that it's going to be, again, although our charge is collections, our charge is also, at the end of the day, we're public servants, and we're here to take care of our people.
Daphne, I meant the 1065 and sub S core. Does that make any sense?
Oh, so
that's
okay,
due
so
on September 15th.
Right. The S Corp, yeah. The 1065. Come on, guys. Yeah, totally.
Sorry, and you know what? To be honest, I'm a little bit rusty on my taxes.
It's okay, Daph. I'm here. She's referring to the S Corp and the 1065 thingamajig.
So the great thing about S Corps and partnership returns, 1065 is like a partnership return, but at this point there is no extension at this point. But the great thing about those returns is generally there's no tax liability due. So people are generally able to file and not have to worry about that. Usually the reason why that the 1065s, of course, partnership or the S Corps, it's actually a partnership return, is important is because the K1s or the partner information is used so that people can file their individual income tax returns. At this point, we don't have any extended dates for those. We're still following that, but, thank you for bringing that up, because I know, again, we've been just kind of working with people on a case-to-case basis. If there's circumstances that are causing people to not be able to file, then those are things that we recommend that they communicate with us on. And I've been answering emails. I know I've been communicating with taxpayers throughout this whole entire pandemic.
Yeah. Anything on Mangafa?
Absolutely. Thank you. Because the last time I was on, I wasn't able to give an update. So we did issue proposed rules and regs for Mangafa. It's the Ajuda y Mangafa Health for Families program. Now, we did transmit proposed rules and regs to our speaker on August 11. That was a Tuesday. When we transmitted the rules and regs, we did advise the speaker and our legislature. We wanted to put them on notice that there were some issues with the language that we believe needed to be addressed. One of the main issues is, of course, the whole idea behind the Ajuda y Mangafa Health for Families program was that it was supposed to help fill a gap. The gap is, of course, for those families who have children or dependents who are above 16 years old, and for those families who have dependents who are disabled of any age. So that was the gap. Now, the language, as we, of course, that particular piece of legislation was passed during an emergency session. So there wasn't an opportunity for public comment. And I know that at that time, of course, our legislature wanted to make sure that they got that done as quickly as possible so we could get monies out. But the concern that we had with the language is, and I'll just give an example for Sabrina, say you are married filing joint and you have 5 children. You would be, under the current language, you would get only 500 times 2, which is 500 times the number of taxpayers, which is you and your spouse, so that you would get 1,000. But Chris, if he had only one dependent child, but he files married filing joint, he would still get $1,000. So there was some issues with the language, and a single parent who has 5 children would only get 500. And the reason is because the way the language is written, the eligibility is not based on the number of dependents, but the eligibility was based on the taxpayer and whether a taxpayer had a dependent. So in a married filing joint, of course, there's 2 taxpayers. and that means, $1,000 whether you have one dependent or, 10 dependents. And for a single individual, whether you had one dependents, you would only get 500. So there is that language. The other thing is, of course, because it's really meant to fill a gap, meaning those people who had not, previously gotten paid an EIP, meaning that, like those people who had children who were under 17 who were able to get EIP. The idea wasn't to pay them again. The idea was to, of course, address those people who hadn't gotten it because their children were above that. So those are the items that we had addressed in our letter to the speaker. I have been in communication with Senator Shelton. I believe that she intends to, if she hasn't already, introduce an amended bill to adjust the language so that it actually accomplishes what it was set out to do. So that's where we are with MNGUFA. On the back end, though, even without all of that happening, even without a new law, our team has been studying it, is preparing it. We recognize that we have to follow the law. Whether there's a change in the law or not, our charge is to do what we are supposed to do. So we're preparing either way, whether or not the law is changed or not. Our charge is to follow the law. And, again, we're waiting on perhaps there to be an introduction of a bill to address the language issues. But
So,
again,
Tata Mengafa, basically.
Wow.
At this point right now, Sabrina, no. But the other piece is on the proposed rules and regs, my understanding is that the proposed rules and regs still have to go through a public hearing comment period. So I believe that, again, I will share with you, my team right now, our audit team, they've been charged with being the ones to implement MNGUFA. So, after the public comment period, I think, of course, again, regardless of what happens, whether there's amended law or not, we are going to follow the law. We will pay it if it goes through this period. If there is no desire to make a change, we're going to have to follow the law. Our team has been studying it. We've been working with the IT people to make sure that we're ready to do it, so that we could pull the trigger on it as soon as possible. But we don't have a date yet on that. And as I mentioned, we believe that, to truly address the gap, the law has to be adjusted.
Daph, what about whether we extended the lockdown for another week? Is everything with Rev and Tax staying put, or are you? Someone had commented, why is Treasury open but not Rev and Tax, since you guys kind of have that partner agency?
Well, so you know what? And so the Treasury is actually just slated to be open tomorrow. Director Byrne messaged me yesterday. I actually have just been on the phone with my team as well this morning because, absolutely, we follow and we support the treasurer. And I think that, again, this is the first time during this whole public health emergency in this past week that our treasurer actually was closed to the public. So, we've already worked to make sure people know that they'll be activated. We already have somebody scheduled to go. We actually have a collections person who goes to the ITC building at the treasurer's area and is there to assist, because the treasurer doesn't collect on past due taxes. The treasurer collects on current taxes, and it's our team that has to deal with the taxpayers one-on-one regarding past due. So we will be there. Well, also, I expect, again, there to be other groups activated. Our team, who is going to be enforcing the executive order on essential and non-essential businesses, is activated. But again, once the treasurer shut down or suspended services, our team also kind of followed it. It's been a bit challenging, and we're. I think that somebody, I was watching Dr. John Fernandez the other day, and I think he said something that was very profound. Is that this is really, the way that the things that are happening right now, as we're seeing it, where there's a restriction and then a relaxing, it's going to be like that. I think we're going to be like a rubber band. We're going to have to restrict for a while when we see that the numbers are going up. Then when we're able to contain it, we're going to relax, right? So we're still in the process of adapting to this restricting, relaxing, restricting, relaxing. I am proud of my team, though, because I will share with you, I've challenged them to try to address and find ways to do things where people don't have to come into our office face to face. And if you don't mind, can I just share really quickly? I know Lillian's coming on, but I wanted to share just what I think is a success for us. in 27, and this is in the vehicle registration area. So, as you know, you could do online renewals for vehicle registration.
Right.
In
Right.
2017, out of 120,000 vehicle registrations that we have, we only had about 4,000 online vehicle registration renewals. That was 2017. In 2018, this is the fiscal year 2018, it went up to about 6,000. In fiscal year 2019, ending September 30, 2019, we had about almost a little bit less than 9,000. As of August 20, in fiscal year 2020, we have over 20,000 online renewals for vehicle registration. And I've told my team, I said, if you compare that with last year, that's about 12,000 less people that have come into our building physically.
Right.
And I think that, the pathway to trying to address or beat this thing is to continue to move in that direction. We may still have to have services where people are going to have to come into our office, because the cards can't print themselves, but we're going to, where we're headed in those types of services is to a place where we can reduce the number of people that are coming to our office, where you could do more of it at your home. So, again, I think, for us to go from about 3% to about over 20, almost 20%, maybe, I think that of people that are doing things online. And again, to reduce the number of people by, not even to finish the fiscal year, that's, even if we just say it's a whole year, that's 1,000 less people every month that come into our door,
Right.
So I think that's significant. And again, that's, the vision that we have at Rev and Tax is for us to move in that direction, to save lives, to keep our people safe, to help Lillian, to help our public health people so that our resources aren't tapped out. I was reading an article about from the Council on State Governments, which talked about really the key to beating this is going to be a very strong healthcare system. And in order for us to be able to get to that place, of course, it's not going to be done overnight. We're going to have to make sure that we are going to keep, our people healthy so that we don't have a lot of people, in our ICU, or so that we don't continue to expose those people who don't have COVID-19 to people who do, because of course that causes issues. So, I think I want to just say, I see Lillian up here, so I want to just say thank you to her and to our public health team,
Right.
because they've done a great job. I know that it's challenging. And I also want to say thank you to you and Sabrina and Chris and Jason. I will share with you, I listen to you guys almost every day, every chance I can. And I think that, your message, you're very fair. You bring up great issues, and you recognize that, to be successful at this is going to take all of us as a community. This is not only a government issue. This is not only a private person or individual or business issue. This is going to take our whole community collectively, business people, government, individual taxpayer individuals, to come together to make this successful, to make sure that we can, prevent more people from dying. It was very sobering that we had 2 people pass away yesterday, 5 minutes apart from each other. I can't even say how much my heart hurts for those people, because, I actually am getting like goosebumps, a little bit teary-eyed, because really the reality is people are dying, and it's going to take us all, to be accountable, so that way we can make a change. But anyway, I'm sorry. I know, again, you have way more important
We're gonna
guests.
Daph, don't down yourself like that. You're a great, important guest. People have a lot of questions. And just in closing, vehicle renewal, driver's license renewals on hold if they expired during this lockdown, it doesn't matter.
Yes. Well, we did already, just so you know, Chris, in our volume 5 for vehicle registrations, we extended all August renewals through September 30.
Okay.
We're going to extend that further. The other thing is for driver's licenses, we did an automatic extension through February 2021. So for anybody who has an expired driver's license who expired during this period from March 14, all the way until February 28th, it's extended through then. No rush to come in, but when we do get out of this PCOR1 situation and people are able to go to their optometrist and go get passport pictures, consider doing your renewal via mail. We have a form. You can go to govguamdocs.com. You can get the temporary mail-in form for your driver's licenses, for to renew it, so you don't have to come here. We're going to be launching our permit form, which is going to be for those, those people who have children who went already and passed the written exam over at UOG. They just want to get their permit because they've already passed. We're going to have a form, and we're releasing that no later than next week. I'm hoping by tomorrow.
Thank you,
So,
Daph.
again, we're going to do our best to help our people. Sabrina, Chris, thank you for everything you do.
We brought
Again,
Lillian on. Lillian's on right next to you. She's there. Lillian, if you want to unmute yourself. Daphne, thank you so much for your kind words about
Have
the
a great
show.
day.
We really
Stay
appreciate
safe.
it.
Take care.